Welcome to Orchestra 2020-2021. Probably the most confusing part about this year is knowing when we meet. Because there are so many combinations of students, both hybrid and fully remote, because there's some learning that takes place in the brick and mortar building and there's some directed learning that takes place at home. It's very confusing, and I, as a parent, completely understand the confusion. So I'm going to try and help you out with this. So when do we meet? Both hybrid and remote orchestra students. Everyone will have a weekly lesson or chamber group via Zoom on at-home days for all students. We tried very hard to make these schedules work for everyone. So our hybrid students should not miss any classes. They should meet on their at-home independent learning days. Remote students, it was actually a little trickier because they are having instruction face-to-face, though via Zoom, all the time, basically. So we had to look for holes in their schedules. We were able to do that, and that's how we went ahead and scheduled our remote students. So that's one weekly requirement for all students. Wednesday Zooms for orchestras. As everybody realizes at this point, the entire building is Zooming or remote on Wednesdays. The interesting thing or confusing thing is orchestra only meets if it's an odd day. If it's not an odd day, according to the PTSA cycle day calendar, they probably have phys ed or some other class that meets on the opposite day. So it's not every single Wednesday, but I have included a lot of calendars for that. So in-school rehearsals also only happen if it's an odd day, and that obviously is only for hybrid kids. The piece of music that you heard right before this slide was the 7th grade orchestra. Now that I talked about the need for Zooming and the need for calendars and the need for schedules, the question comes up, where do I find? And the three things that most people have emailed or asked me about are Zoom links, lesson schedules, and calendars for our odd day rehearsals, both in school and out of school. If you look in the parenthesis on this, Zoom links are in the blue class information folder in Schoology. Lesson schedules are in the blue class information folder in Schoology. Calendars of odd day rehearsals are in the blue class information folder in Schoology. I see a pattern here. Where is this infamous blue course information folder? By now you have probably heard the words Schoology, 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 Schoology over and over and over and over again. This is an example of the 8th grade homepage for my orchestra Schoology. It looks exactly the same on the 7th grade page. It looks exactly the same on the 6th grade page. And the very first folder that you will see is the blue course information folder. Another question that I get pretty often is there other homework and where would it be, or where would I find it? So here's an example or a picture of my homepage for my Orchestra 6 Schoology page. And as you can see, there's your infamous course information folder right at the top, but right below it is a week 3 folder. Now, we're not always going to be on week 3. Sometimes we'll be on week 4. Sometimes we'll be on week 5. Sometimes we'll be on week 16. But weekly, I will update these folders. So following the dates, following the weeks, that is the first place to look for any additional homework or materials. All right. The one other thing that these kids should always be doing is practicing, especially the remote kids, because you do not have the benefit of having the in-school rehearsals. Remote kids, totally remote kids, should be practicing at least every odd day. Okay, and I'm not expecting that it happens exactly at the time that orchestra happens, but sometime during the day that needs to happen because you're not getting as much in school time. How will orchestra be different this year? Well, it seems that everything is different this year, but it especially affects our music program, and thankfully it affects our string program a little less than it affects the other two. Concerts, as I told the kids, are on pause through January, when we'll look and see what state our county and our district are in. At that point, if things are better, maybe they can be resumed. At this point, it's looking like we will not have concerts for this entire school year. Now, because we want you to be able to see what we've been working on and what we've been what we've been practicing, the next thing on this list is recording projects. My goal for this year is that every grade level will work on a recording project, and you may have already been privy to this at home. Our 8th graders in particular are using a program called Audacity, which should be downloaded onto their tablets at this point, and we've started trying to play around with the program and figure it out. And 6th graders and 7th graders were working on a couple different things to try and be able to share our music making with you at home. Unfortunately, there are things that a number of our students look forward to every year, special events, including all solo festivals and all counties and area all states. At this point, for the same reason, all of those have been canceled for this 2021 school year. If anything changes, if we decide to have a virtual festival or something like that, I will let people know, but I just wanted everyone to get the same information. Lastly, I just wanted to let you know, take a peek in that same blue course information folder if you're looking for information on how to get in touch with any of our teachers. Email is the very best. We can get back to you at any time of the day that we're awake. And if you're not sure who to send it to, go ahead and send it to me and I'll make sure it gets to the right spot. So I'm going to leave you with a little 8th grade music, and I hope you guys have a great year.